Thanks for joining us for our market roundup for today's Northern Ag TV. Well, last week definitely was a rebound week for the cattle futures. If you recall, 2 Fridays ago, the markets plummeted with rumors of New World screwworm entering the United States. You add that onto Monday, the markets were closed for the federal holiday. So on top of a short trade week, the pressure was really on for the cattle futures. Coming off of $8 losses 2 weeks ago in the feeder contracts, the board was able to regain most of the loss, trading mostly 50 to 70 cents better throughout the week, waiting for cash cattle to develop. Friday, we did see live bids come in steady to $1 higher at $2.33. Dress bids did come in $5 better at $3.70. Lending more support to the board on Friday was the USDA's January cattle on feed report. On feed numbers were down 3%, right on with the estimates. Placements down only 5%. Marketings 2% higher than last year, showing that continued strong demand. January feeder cattle finished Friday at $364.80. That's up $1.07. The March up 90 cents at $360.17. February live cattle up $2.52 at $234.90. April up $2.10 at $236.92. And looking at some of the auction markets, feeder cattle prices last week did ease off a little bit, mostly $5 to $15 lower in some instances, but still double digits higher than those first market reports we saw early January. Over at Torrington Livestock, heavy 4-weight steer calves sold for an average of $605. Light 6-weights $430 to $457. Light 8-weight steers top $375. For the heifers at Torrington, heavy 5-weights brought $4.25 to $452. Heavy 7-weights at $358, with 8-weight heifers bringing $328 to $337. Market cows at Bighorn Basin Livestock this week steady at $133, a top of $180. Slaughter bulls bringing $145 to $186, and a lighter bred cow market test with bred heifers $37.50 to $39.50. 3 to 4-year-old bred cows at $3,500, and short terms a top of $3,200. And a look at a light sheep sale at St. Aud's Livestock. 60-pound feeder lambs were steady at $405, 80-pounders at $313, with 90-pound lambs $274 to $278. We'll come back with a look at the grain markets, but first a word from our TV sponsor, BNSF Railway.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Now taking a look at how the grain markets ended last week, mostly a modest, quiet trade week last week until Friday's corn export sales report showed a record-setting 157.9 million bushels so far for 2026. That's 34% higher than this time a year ago. Soybean contracts Friday were able to steal some of the support from corn as March closed 3 pennies higher at 10.67 3/4. The May up 3 cents at 10.79. Wrapping up with the wheat contracts, export sales for U.S. wheat also very strong so far this year. They're up 18% from this time in 2025. The markets did build some risk premiums ahead of the cold weather this past weekend, and this week 12 Pro winter wheat climbed 15 cents in March up to $5.41. The May up 14.5 to $5.50. March Chicago wheat climbed 14 cents to $5.29. The May up $12.50 at $5.39. That's going to wrap up today's Northern Ag TV. I'm Colton Young.